The value of values is the process to discover the values. And to actually, when in conversation with a team, I brought up the values and asked which value does that associate with. And the team felt confident enough in actually giving me feedback around the values. That confidence to give feedback around the values is only created from the person in authority. And it would be, in that case, me, making it safe and okay to give feedback around the values. That means they have to be acted out and lived out to actually lead to the team respecting them, trusting in the leadership. I was pursuing values because I didn't know what my values were. I didn't have a clear aim or a goal or an expectation even for myself. And I was inspired by the story of values because that could help anchor me in place. I could be a more responsible leader if I became clear myself on what I believed in and what I stood for, because then I could be responsible to those behaviors and be more likely to succeed. And the genuine pursuit and wanting to know what I stood for and what we stood for as a company, the genuine pursuit of that, the authentic interest in that, the curiosity to try to figure that out and put it into paper, owning the failures and owning the adversities gave the values meaning. It made them make sense to people. It actually helped people learn the values at a higher level because everyone makes mistakes. Everyone is going to have a blind spot as it relates to any core value, no matter how they're written, how they're defined, where they're posted, in what volume they're talked about or posted about. Each individual is going to, at some level, not live up to the values. The question is, what value do the values have? And that will come down to being able to speak about them and ask questions around them. And I don't think that would ever happen unless I genuinely wanted to know what they were and could own up to where I failed in respect to the values. Now, if I'm in the position of authority from a title standpoint, people are looking up to me, I need to have something to look up to keep myself in check. And that's what the core values are. They're explicit mirrors of the habits, the actions that I need to represent in that position to be the best version of that position so that people want to follow the leader. So I'm not a leader going on a walk alone. It was the pain and suffering of not having values and living in a values-rooted life and way and business leadership way that led to the insight and the inspiration and the desire to have core values and to live them out. And from seeing the fruit of when they were talked about and lived out, and everyone is working together and excited about what is going on around the customer, around the organization, around the future, that led me to say, I want to teach this. This is something special. This is my fate. It became my education around business grew in depth and breadth. It became, all right, what's the story from the past to the future, right? Past is where we've come from, the history. Future, where are we going and why? What's the organizational structure? How is it governed? What are the systems and the processes and the organizational charts that have to constantly be reevaluated and reinterpreted to live up to the next level of the business's success? And then, okay, what are the rituals or annual gatherings or quarterly leadership or the pursuit of knowledge and the pursuit to understand what business is and why business is important and how business works continue to develop as I pursued an understanding of culture and why it matters. As a consulting firm, a partner to companies that want to continually get bigger and better and stay meaningful and continue to grow in their meaningful development and understanding, an awareness and understanding and a desire to understand company culture is an edge. It's an advantage. It will be a necessity in the future as our civilization continues to evolve and continues to advance, and the culture of the world and our business landscape continues to change. It will become more and more important to understand what culture is and what culture means and how habits and rituals and beliefs and behaviors impact an organization, and what the role of leadership is and how leadership impacts people at every level of analysis, at work, at home, in the community, and so on. And Culture Matters may have been inspired by a scared, vulnerable, insecure, non-values laden individual like myself going to a bookstore and looking for information as a student to be a better leader and a better teacher and a better owner at that time, but it's blossomed into a life of learning and unlearning as an advisor and a consultant and an executive coach and the founder of Culture Matters. And why Culture Matters is because culture is about business, culture is about people and how people serve one another. Business is about how companies serve their customers and empower and enrich the people that work for and with them, and continue to add value to their shareholders and stakeholders. And there's these competing forces of attention and interest as it relates to how an enterprise grows and evolves in a marketplace. And understanding culture and understanding people is a core component to understanding management and leadership and governance and all the things that make business successful, and business continually successful as competition exists and innovation is a necessity and bureaucracy is one day away from forgetting where we've come from. If we don't have the end in mind, if we're not constantly reinventing the vision and constantly reassessing what our core values are, and if we're living up to the expectation that we set by writing them down on paper in the first place. And it's so easy to get away from the core values and from the vision and from the mission when things are going well and when we're succeeding and when it doesn't seem like we need to spend the extra time, invest the extra time to have the tougher conversations. So culture matters because business matters.